Well, hey there. Welcome back to the People Gardener podcast. Happy to have you here this week. Oh, we're going to get back to that book that I mentioned a few weeks ago, The 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership. I'm going to move on to commitment number 3 and 4. But before I do that, I just want to talk to you about, about my journey right now. I'm putting together all of the pieces to relaunch or to launch again the People Gardener Collective. And with the business coaching, I realized that I have done a really sucky job at messaging, about talking to you about what it is that I teach, how I teach it, and why I believe that it's so important. And I got thinking, it's like, you know what? We just do that as leaders. Often we don't stop and just say, okay, so if I say it this way, are they going to understand it? Or should I say it and show it? I've been learning a bit about neurolinguistic programming and speech patterns, learning patterns, thought patterns. They're all there, and they're used in the positive way. They're there to help clarify. So as we're going along on this journey, and you're along for the ride, if you're on my email list, you definitely will hear about how things go. If you're not on the email list, get on it. There's lots of good stuff in there, little tidbits. That's the thing with leadership. In order to cultivate and transform your employees into raving fans, which is what you want, because it's going to increase your profit, it's going to increase your freedom, and your employees are going to be happier because they are invested in their job and they're recognized and they're supported in a way that makes them want to come to work. All of this is going to be inside the collective. I've got videos, I've got courses. I'm going to have monthly coaching Q&A calls. I'm going to have quarterly folks that come in that are topic specific that can help you. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been going through, and my brain hurts a little bit. You know, it's that way when you learn something new. I'm sure you've experienced it too. You're looking at something and that voice in your head is saying, oh, another thing that I have to learn or another thing that I have to do. Don't you realize I don't have time? I mean, there's so many things that go around our heads that are not unique to us. So I encourage you to get on my email list. Go to Rhonda at rhondadelaney.com, and right on the homepage is a place for you to get signed up. You'll get notified when the People Gardener Collective opens for enrollment. So yeah, I'm excited to really get in and help people with their leadership. So back to the book, The 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership. I'm going to read you number 3 commitment. And remember, this is, are you above the line? Are you below the line? Where are you sitting? Where are your actions taking place? And we always want to be above the line. So the above the line for commitment 3, that is feeling all feelings. If I commit to feeling my feelings all the way through to completion, they come and I locate them in my body, then move, breathe, and vocalize them so they release all the way through. The below the line is I commit to resisting, judging, and apologizing for my feelings. I repress, avoid, and withhold them. Wow. Oh, so much to unpack there. We're not going to unpack all that much. I really encourage you to pick up this book. It will open your eyes and your mind and your heart to how you are going to go forward with your leading. This business of feeling, part of self-awareness is being able to identify the feeling that you're having. And as I was going through this, one of the things, let me see if I can find it. So, what are you feeling right now? Many respond with such statements as, I'm feeling that if we make this decision, it will have devastating consequences. I feel like you're missing the point. I feel that your data isn't accurate. Those aren't feelings. They're a thought, they're a judgment, a belief, or an opinion, but they're not feelings. So, one of the things that I challenge you with is to identify the feeling that you're having, not the statement, not the opinion. And there's basically 5 dominant feelings. I mean, there's a lot of nuances to feeling, but it is anger, sadness, fear, joy, and sexual feelings. Taking the time when you have a feeling to actually identify it and then process it. And the process means sitting with it for just a minute, that pause, and feeling where it is. Is it in your head? Is it in your jaw? Is it in your heart? Is it in your gut? Is it in your legs, your pelvis? Where is that feeling? And then recognizing it and letting it flow. I think all of us understand that repressed or suppressed feelings can cause us major, major problems down the road. And that being true to having the feeling, identify the feeling, expressing the feeling, and having the conversation and being honest to say what we feel. Now, if you go back to those ones that we were talking about, I feel that if we make this decision, it will have devastating consequences. What that person is feeling is fear. Fear is the feeling. And then expressing, I'm fearful. Honor that feeling. The feeling is valid. You don't have to worry about feeling your feelings, every single feeling you have. And for some reason, we just are worried about what other people are going to think and what other people are going to say. Working at getting yourself to the place of accepting that your feelings are valid and expressing those feelings honestly to other people. That is the above the line approach, for sure. So the next one is speaking candidly. It goes hand in hand with that feeling all the feelings, right? The next step, you feel them, you let it process through your body, and you then come out the other side of that feeling and you express with words. And speaking candidly, commitment number 4. Above the line, it says, I commit to saying what is true for me. I commit to being a person to whom others can express themselves with candor. Below the line, I commit to withholding my truth, facts, feelings, things I imagine, and speaking in a way that allows me to try to manipulate an outcome. I commit to not listening to the other person. Again, we are talking 2 extremes, extreme above the line and extreme below the line. And I think for a lot of us, it's kind of a mix, and it might not be as decisive all the time. One of the biggest challenges with us as human beings, we withhold. And often that is because of fear, because of anger, because of sadness. I mean, there's lots of reasons that we withhold. But we withhold the facts. Could be that you know something and you withhold bringing it forward. You're fearful for some reason. Who knows? You could just be in a bad place and it's, I'm going to stick it to this person. I know this, but I'm not going to do it and they're going to fail. Yeah, that's definitely below the line. So you got those facts, but then you also withhold thoughts, the beliefs, the opinions, the judgments. Everything that you are and you think is valid. It is okay to share those things when you're exercising a desire to be helpful, to improve the situation, to add to a conversation. If you've got this gut feeling about a decision that is being made and you don't say something, you're withholding, that isn't helpful for you. It's not helpful for the situation and it's not helpful for the company. Often we withhold because we're concerned somebody's going to think we're stepping on their toes or we're invading their space or their territory. Your concern is valid. Get the courage to not withhold and to share that. It's like any skill. It's going to take time and repetition for it to become comfortable and feel like it's the right fit for you. You just have to keep doing it. There's something that was in the book here too, and I want to open it because I want to make sure. Reveal or conceal. So withhold, withdraw, and project. And that projection is the judgment and what's inside of you. Or reveal, connect, and own. That's the above the line. It's being courageous and willing to say and do the things that you believe are correct and accepting that there's going to be dialogue and then also owning where you stand and what you believe in. That is the speaking candidly, learning how to express yourself. So here's your homework. Get on and Google or whatever browser you use and look for feelings, all the different feelings. And there's lists out there all over the place. Print off the list and start going through those. And be aware during your day, the feelings that come over you. Pause for a minute and identify what they are. It could be frustration. It could be anger. It could be joy. It could be delight. It could be mad as a hatter. It could be anger. It could be disgust. There's so many feelings that we have as human beings. So get that list and start really working at identifying the feelings that come up for you so that you can start to address them and speak about them so that you can connect better with your team, with your people, with your customers, with your spouse, with your significant other, with your kids. Being able to share that feeling makes it so that you are not trying to repress those feelings. We're full of thoughts and feelings as human beings, and it's all good, absolutely all good. And part of being that conscious leader is you consciously knowing your feelings and have your team do this work too. It will do nothing but improve communication. That's it for this week. We'll talk to you again next week.